Hey everyone, this is PrinceBrightstar, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. It is another beautiful night here in Tuliolol, and we got a couple of things planned for today. I'm going to have to take this as a little bit of a shorter stream, because there is a major storm coming in my way, but I still have several hours where we can still at least enjoy things for a bit here. Anyway, first thing for today is going to be Jeuno, or also known as the first part of the new Alliance Raid series. This Alliance Raid is basically a crossover event between Final Fantasy XIV and Final Fantasy XI. Now, I did play a little bit of Final Fantasy XI a long time ago, but I never really got anywhere in it. Kind of partly because I didn't quite understand what the idea of MMOs was at the time, if you can imagine that. We're talking like late, or I guess early 2000s with that, and then I picked it up once or twice after that just to try it again, but I never really got very far in the story or anything like that, so it'll be interesting kind of seeing things from the perspective of someone that I guess never really experienced 11 in the first place here. But our quest giver for this is right over here, the Hubigo Messenger, so let's go ahead and talk to them. An otherworldly encounter. Say, aren't you Prince? That certainly saves me a lot of trouble. I was asked to find you on behalf of Milalja. Curious happenings abound at Mamuk of late, and we thought one with your worldly experience may be able to help us make sense of things. If you have the time and inclination to aid us, she awaits you in Mamuk. You'll find her west of the plaza, in the large building near the two-headed statue. Alright, we are headed to Mamuk. And let's take a quick flight over to there. You are inside here, apparently. Thank you for coming. Truth be told, I was unsure if I was right to call on you, but the troubles we now face cannot be overcome with our strength alone. It all began when we found a fallen traveler in the Sky Deep cenote. For a mercy, his wounds were not life-threatening. His kind is not a common sight in these lands. Tall and slender of build, with pointed ears. He has yet to awaken, but speaks in his sleep of strange things that make little sense to us. It was our hope that you might recognize something in his ramblings, or perhaps even jog his memory once he regains consciousness. Might you be willing to speak with him? Of course, leave it to me. Milalja, the traveler stirs. Very good. If you would be so kind as to bring him here. Well, you appear to be an Elizin, but I get the feeling that is not the case. We are glad to see you awake, and in good health besides. May I ask your name, traveler? My name? I'm sorry, I can't remember. It would seem the fall has affected his memory. In any case, his presence here is a complete mystery to us. His armor the only hint as to whence he came. Does anything about him strike you as out of the ordinary? Maybe something about the ether? Not much different from any other Elezen I've met, or would that be Eldite? I think that's what they called them on the first? Elezen? Eldite? No, that's not quite right. Ah! I remember. I'm an Elvan adventurer. And you're Mamuja. Could it be I've come to Mamuk? Wait, if I'm in Mamuk, then I must have been taken prisoner. To so readily believe us enemies, perhaps he comes from a land unfamiliar with our customs, across the salt. Maybe he came from Alexandria. Obviously, this is not going to be right, given that it's a difference of Final Fantasy IX versus 11. We've no way to know for certain, in which case... Milaja, we must gather our strongest fighters at once. Why? What happened? Gululjaja's shade has returned. It's been sighted near Gok-Drak descent. Bakuljaja has engaged the apparition, but I fear the worst. The vow resolves companion. From the feet of the Brotherhood. I suspect you would understand the graveness of this situation better than most. In recent days, the late Dawn Servant's shade has been seen wandering the woods of Yaktel. I have reason to believe it was invoked in like manner to the one used in the feat. Only a privileged few of the Bunawa should be privy to the knowledge required to perform the rite. The culprit will be found in time, but we've a more pressing matter at hand now. I must hurry and inform the Landsguard. Bakul Jaja requires reinforcements. The Dawn Servant's shade. I fear he may not hold out until the guard assembles. I am loath to ask such a favor, but would you aid Bakul Jaja in this battle? Of course. I'm in your debt. Gok-Drak descent is to the west of here. Please, go and help my son. And as for the adventurer... Gululjaja? Alright, we make our way to the west. Now, I am at least aware that the Mamuja were a thing in Final Fantasy XI as well. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. quite a flight to take here. Here we go. Ah! Pathetic. And you dare call yourselves blessed siblings? Not bad. You might actually prove a challenge. If you've come to help, best stay on your guard. He's not alone. Are those supposed to be, like, giant boxing gloves? Is this what this character looked like in 11? Oh my goodness. Okay. What's this? Another monster in need of slaying? Don't worry, I'll send them packing. As if we weren't getting enough from, nullifying dropkick. Oh, no, you don't. As if we weren't getting enough fighting from the regular raid series already, this expansion. I can't explain why, but something told me I had to be here. Not bad. Not bad at all. But it'll take more than a couple of Tari to stop me. Tari? Are you daft, girl? You can speak. A shame you don't seem to have any manners. The name's Prisha. You do well to remember it. Or is it just Prish? Prish. Looks like I win. Oh, they're seeing us as monsters. One Taurus down, one to go. I hope you're ready. I don't know, I didn't see anything saying duty calls. But that's a game mechanic. Yeah, at ease, Prish. We've seen to our task. Come. Whatever you say, Omia. Omia? What is she talking about? Prish, wait! Please don't go! I'm guessing word of the Dawn Servant's shade is what brought you here. I don't know what that girl has to do with all this, but clearly she's aligned with whomever summoned them. The way remains open, though there's no telling where it leads. Even so, they can't be allowed to return. We've a duty to protect this forest, and I'll not see it torn apart by some two-headed imposter. Let's hurry after them, brother. Watch over that one, won't you? Prish, what's happened to you? Alright. Everything's still hazy, but I recall fighting alongside that girl. We were comrades in arms, I think. But something was clearly wrong with her. She not only mistook me for a monster, but she called her two-headed companion Olmia. The Olmia I know is an elven woman, a far cry from the reptilian fiend we encountered. Something dark has taken hold of her, clouded her mind. I have to go and... I'll go after Prish. You would put yourself in harm's way for my sake? Thank you. I recognize that look. The eyes of a man who's seen more than their fair share of battle. Despite what Prish has done, she was a dear friend to me. I'm fairly certain. Have care, friend. There's no telling what lies beyond that portal. Jeuno the First Walk, now accessible. Alright, so, let's go ahead and see what we're looking at for queue time here. 12 minutes. Okay, so I want to get in there as quickly as possible, so let's take a look at the other options we have. What about healer? Okay, that's 8 minutes, and if I try DPS... actually, let's go Pico. That's 6 minutes. Okay, yeah, this will be the quicker time then. Cool. Okay. So yeah, we just gotta wait for the raid to start now here. And unfortunately, there's nothing I can do beyond this to kind of speed things up, but DPS are usually the quickest to get in on Alliance raids, just because you need 15 of them versus 6 healers and 3 tanks, so I'm not surprised that it took that long here. Or at least that's what it's saying the average wait time is. It could still take a while here, depending upon how many people are actually trying to run this here today. While we wait here, strange happenings in Yachtel have cast a pall of unease over the forest, after an armor-clad stranger was found unconscious in the sky-deep cenote. Bereft of memory, the shade of Gululjaja was spotted stalking the woods with a young girl. What appeared to be unrelated events take a turn when Bakuljaja confronts the Dawn Servant's shadowy impostor. The armor-clad stranger recognizes the girl as Prish, a friend seemingly turned enemy, who retreats with Gululjaja's shade into the blinding light of an otherworldly rift. In search of answers and to safeguard Tural, Bakuljaja bids you join him as he follows the incongruous pair into the unknown. Alright, so we will see how long this takes. Actually, it looks like we've already got a number of people ready to go, although I'm a little concerned about the number of healers we have so far. Hopefully the regular roulette will, or the alliance roulette will help to fill that out, though. But it's nice to see that we've at least got a decent amount already ready to go here. While we're waiting here, and this is just sort of side content here that I still have yet to do here. Let me bring this up here so I can kind of show you some of the stuff I've been working on, even off camera. So I've been working on a lot of relic stuff as of late. I've got a whole bunch of the Shadowbringers relics over here, and then if I were to swap back over to my tank, I've also got this weapon that I'm working on. This is a Realm Reborn relic that I'm working on. Right now, I'm currently into the light grind phase of that, and despite having done a whole bunch of stuff for Bajja, which is a topic we'll go into another day, but despite having done a lot of Bajja last night, if I take a look at the status of this thing, there's no etheric activity from it yet here, and I need to get what's effectively 2,000 points in order to get to the next step of the whole process. So I think each fate inside there was only giving me like maybe 12 or 16 points, so I still got a ways to go on that. Technically, it would just be faster if I was to say run the final turn of the Binding Coils of Bahamut over and over and over. But in terms of where I am with like relics and things like that, because I don't think I've ever really brought this up before. If I go under items here and I go under animal weapons, I am done with all of my animal weapons at this point here. Of course, I'm also done with the Manderville weapons as well, which is one of the rewards you get for something that we're going to eventually get to on this channel, which is the whole Manderville series of events, and that's the only way I can really describe it, because that thing is absolutely crazy if you've never experienced it before. So even off camera, I've got like a lot of stuff that's going on here in Final Fantasy XIV. In fact, I've got something prepared if we have time for it today, but we might not, as I mentioned before, because of the storm that's coming in. Basically, I have completed, for the Eureka portion of things, which you might remember from way back in Stormblood, I have basically gone into the final piece of content for that, and gotten a clear out of that. So I've been busy, even off camera. So this is all stuff that we can kind of get into eventually. But for right now, my concern is just simply getting us into this raid, which is unfortunately taking a while here. The average is supposed to be 6 minutes. We're approaching that right now, so we'll see how much longer it is after that, I guess. Let's see, what else? I guess the other thing that we could do while we wait here... the thing is, I don't want to have this pop when we're so close to it now. And again, now it's going up to 8 minutes here, so we might actually have time on this. All right, let's head to Yaktel. I think it was here. Because we got some custom deliveries to hand in. No, they weren't here. They were up here. Okay. The only question is, where are my scripts at this point? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to spend some scripts first before we hand these in. Just so I can get them down. Let's see here. Let's grab some materia. grab 2 of each of these here. Alright, Nito Wickwig. Just who I was hoping to see. We're remodeling the carriage interiors for a more comfortable ride. Alright, so we're gonna make some deliveries here. Oh, I actually need to set myself to a crafter. And I need to grab all of these. Oh, actually, it was... Okay, got it. So it was actually crafter I needed to spend on here then. Alright, real quick, let's do that. We'll do 2 of these. And then... for the purples... the crafting points is always the worst, when it comes to, melding crafter stuff. Okay, so... we'll hand the first one over. So, these luxurious cushions seats offer superior comfort for train rides of any duration. As I've said, many passengers traveling out of the dome are at an age where rest is paramount. I'd like for them to be seated comfortably. Prince, you've outdone yourself. I could scour the springs and never find something half as good as this. Alright. I'm going to hand over 5 of these, and then I'm going to stop, because it looks like we're actually going to be heading in fairly soon. And it's gonna start up a cutscene if I hand over the last one, so I don't wanna have that get interrupted as we're waiting here. Let's see here. Make sure I have this ready here. Yeah, Pictomancer's been an interesting class to play. It's been announced that there's going to be some nerfs coming for patch 7.2. But ultimately, it's still a fun class to play. It's going to be a question of how much they actually decide to nerf things. Okay, while we're still waiting here, I might as well do some other stuff here. So, for Pictomancer, it's basically, you basically have to draw things, and those things that you draw eventually become attacks that you can use in battle. The funny thing about Pictomancer is it has stuff that, in order to draw those things, they are extremely long cast times. And while you can have a decent opener, once you're kind of past that opener, it does take a bit to get things really going, again, with your DPS. What I'm over here for right now is to grab one of these Wyvern Skin maps. I've been interested in in filling out some of my achievements as of late. And one of those is to actually get different types of maps, and effectively discovering where they are located and opening the treasure chest there. Later on, I'm going to start working on the maps that have portals in them, which that gets real fun real quick, because you can get like tombstones and things like that in there as well. Technically, you can get tomes even with just the regular maps that don't open portals, but the real you get a lot of gil and such, as well as rare materials inside the portals when you get them opened up. All right, looks like we're just looking for one more DPS at this point now, because we've got all the healers and tanks we need. And now we need 2 more DPS. All right, come on, DPS, ready up. Also, I am almost ready on the Pelu reputation. I just got to get everything combined for when we actually cover that. That'll be most likely in the next session of 14 that we do. Although the next one is probably also going to be when we start covering 7.2 for the main scenario quest. There's a lot of stuff coming with 7.2. There's the galactic exploration, as well as Crescent Island. But that's for another stream. For now, we're headed into Jeuno, the First Walk. Uh-oh, who said no? There we go. Wakey, wakey, DPS! Oh, DPS. Oh, there we go. And the flashback. Now, I do know that Jeuno is a city in Final Fantasy XI, but I don't know much beyond that. I think it was like a place where, like, I remember something about something like star onions or something like that, but... Alright, food goes on! I'm gonna save my stuff, my big stuff, for when we get into a boss battle. For now, I'm just gonna look to, like, build up my gauge and such. Ooh, we got a couple of healers taking damage here.
Careful! That girl is stronger than she looks.
Wow, they don't even let you build up your gauge completely.
How about we start with a big fat knuckle sandwich? Here we go! Wait for it! Wait for it! Bam! Is that all you've got?
Huh. Okay, so it looks like this is...
Wait for it! Wait for it! Wait for it!
Okay, so...
Nerfine drop kick to your fat head!
The more she does that, the bigger the attack area, apparently.
Altana, give me strength! the dawn! Not bad! Not bad at all! Oh, we're just getting started!
Some kind of, grid formation. This...
Wait for it! Wait for it!
Okay, that's 2.
Auroral uppercut!
Nice! Okay.
Man, is that all? And I was just working off an appetite. Behold, the
Glad I
blessed
figured it
power
out.
of Altana.
Okay, what is this?
Still kicking? 'Cause so am I. You ready for this? Wait for it.
Here we go again.
Wait for it.
That's 2.
Wait for it.
3.
Auroral uppercut.
That got weird there, because the thing was like spinning on me
This
as
should
it was,
do it.
as I was moving. This is a stack marker.
Take this and that and one of these. Now we're having a party. Time to get serious. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Bam!
Right here. Now get out. And I'm just running for the edge.
I'm not done yet.
What is this now? I'm gonna go here.
Wait for it.
Right to the edge.
Auroral uppercut. You can't stop the flood of mortal existence. Eat this!
Right, stack again.
Ouch, that was a good one. Take this and that and one of these.
I'm realizing the audio's a little loud, so I'm pulling that down.
Wait for it. Wait for it. This wasn't how it was supposed to go.
I've a bone to pick with this one. But first... the only way out is forward.
Alright. Nice to see I got through that without dying
A
once.
forest, huh? Go. We'll look after the girl.
And the tank is taking off. That's typical.
What is that? Is some kind of Tural Vitral?
I should go ahead and prep my stuff for the next fight.
On your guard. I sense something up ahead. Something big.
Wow, they're being really quick about these fights. Going in just a single combat
But
until the boss.
it's no match for you.
Fairly straightforward so far. Okay, so that was a donut. Tail is up. We got ads in here. Okay. Okay, guess right on that. Not really being given much of a chance to cast here. This looks like one. ads. Let's take them out. It doesn't look like my rainbow drip hits more than one at a time. This is the donut, I think. And down they go.
Teleportation magic. Oh, brace yourselves. Aye, so where are we now? And what are these floating ruins?
I guess we'll see soon enough if this is just a single round of combat again before a boss. Okay, that's a music theme I do recognize. This was the regular battle theme. Yeah, for that marker, you want to turn away.
There's something about that big tower.
Okay, so more than just a single combat this time. That looks like it's gonna suck people in. Okay, gotta watch the follow.
Five of them? This should be interesting.
So, is this supposed to be... Okay, what is this?
You shall be burned by the rage that controls you.
Away. Oh. And I have no idea what got me there. Must have been something on the in the grid on the floor.
You shall be consumed by the cowardice that binds you.
That sounds like a mechanic going off. Maybe not.
twisted by the envy that drives you.
Oh, I have to attack Beta. Got it.
Rage cleaves.
Alright, stack markers.
Cowardice dismembers.
Okay,
You shall be
the
smothered
beta
by
marker is
the arrogance
gone.
that consumes you.
Is that something that just says keep running? I can't tell.
You shall be defeated by the apathy that plagues you.
Okay, this looks like something Omega did once. Yeah, okay. So, we finish that, and then it can be interrupted. Got it.
Envy engulfs!
Wasn't that hard to find that hole?
Cowardice dismembers.
Let's get out of this. Okay, and then, yeah, that's exactly what got me last time. Here, and then we come out.
Consumed by the cowardice that binds you.
Okay, yeah, once I understand it, it's fairly easy to do. It's just, what, a 5-step dance on that one?
Arrogance defiles. Cowardice dismembers.
Huh. Thought I was out of that by then.
Apathy strikes!
Okay, I'm down, and a whole bunch of other people just went down as well. Got it. Somebody didn't interrupt him. I don't think as a caster I have a way to interrupt.
Our next destination. No doubt a warm reception awaits us.
Surprised there isn't a teleport crystal there. Okay, I am at least aware of who this is. This is called the Shadow Lord, if I remember correctly. And he's apparently a Gulka that was, I guess, transformed in some way?
Come, mortals. Allow me to show you the depths of my hatred and your folly! I cannot die! Not until I have eradicated you and your kind from this world! The land trembles before my might! Frail mortals! I will tear your flesh and crush your bones!
I guess you gotta stay pretty close to him for this fight.
Flames of hatred! Oh, how they burn!
Oh, this will change the arena.
There will be naught left of man but smoke and ash!
Alright, so it looks like we gotta pay attention to which way things are pointing.
Let the fires ride and rage!
Good thing I could smudge out of that.
Kneel before me. Your demise shall portend the extinction of Altana's vile progeny!
Towards the back. There we go.
The darkness within me shall devour you all! insult! I will scour it away with your blood! Give up your painful strivings! Give in to the darkness of oblivion!
He's doing something with his floor marker there. It's like, I think that's saying to stay out.
Your dirge has begun! Its mournful notes sing of your demise!
Terra Slash sounds like something the tank needs to take care of.
Return to the feculent soil that birthed you!
Or not, I guess. Use my thing too quick there.
Behold, as the spate of my rage quenches the candle of your trivial existence.
That side. This side. And then up front. Or no, behind him. Here. Here. Okay. I didn't see the combo.
Can your vaunted justice withstand the brunt of the deepest rancor and wrath?
I'm gonna stay out of that since I just got up. Okay, now I can get in. That's one thing you gotta be careful about. If you revive, you then need to make sure that... I'm gonna go there. When you revive, you have a few seconds of invulnerability, but then, as soon as you do anything, that invulnerability will go away.
Like the insects you are!
And so you need to be watching what mechanics are happening, so that way you don't accidentally go into a mechanic, lose the invulnerability, and then immediately go down because you hadn't been healed by the healer yet.
I will not fall.
Alright, here we go again.
I will keep coming back until the fires of wrath consume me.
Now that's an interesting one. If you're likely to hit somebody else, just because of how little room there is there. I got revived there through the healer LB.
Before my might.
I had trouble reading that one. I knew that they were coming. I should have moved quicker than I did. Yeah, so here I should be safe through the invulnerability. But now it drops off.
Kneel before me! Your demise shall portend the extinction of Altana's vile progeny!
This looks like a DPS race, and it doesn't look like we got it. Okay, so what's your last thing then? Just another of those. Alright, home away from home. Down goes the Shadow Lord. Huh. No victory theme. Jeuno the first walk complete. Ah, that's the login theme. Let's give it to one of the healers for the commendation. No loot this time. Now, something about this place changed. Got a bunch of shadowy figures here. Are you all right? She's merely sleeping. It remains to be seen if she'll give us a fight when she wakes. Ah, she stirs. A two-headed lizard trying to take a bite out of me, huh? A scrawny thing like you would barely make a snack. Besides, we don't eat people. Sorry, I'm a little on edge. If you've no quarrel with us, we've none with you. We only wish to talk. Can they really be trusted? I should know better than to judge people based on their appearance. It's fine. We're an intimidating specimen. I'm Prish, by the way. Nice to meet you. Apparently there's an item vendor in the area. There is much of this we don't understand, but what we do understand is the battle is won, for now at least. What would have otherwise been a struggle proved a decisive victory against the Dawn Servant Shade and the rest of those fiends. That is to say, thank you for your help, Prince. Alright, I want to check that vendor. Just to see what they got. Peculiar Goblin. Huh. Okay, so you can get a whole bunch of orchestrions here. Or orchestrion rolls, that is. Through those tattered sheet music that they were giving out at the end of the raid. Party-looking dark samurai dragoon. The city's not at all what it should be. What I wouldn't give for a drink right about now. Welcome, Chamber of Commerce. We assist job labor. Auction house? Any questions? In the past, great wealth. Alright, it all began with a stone. What were your names again? Prince and Prqwdplqdwlrq, right? I don't know where you're from, but I can tell I'd love to visit. Can't say I've ever seen anyone quite like you before. If you're done with the small talk, would you mind explaining why you attacked us? What in the world are you talking about? Don't play the fool with us. You were spouting nonsense about us being Tauri, and nearly killed a man on your rampage. Well, I do recall fighting Tauri not long ago to protect Olmia. Olmia? That's the name she said. A friend of hers, you say? That's all well and good, but she was addressing zlghob shade with that name. The incantations needed to summon it are said to be based on a much older magic, one capable of clouding people's minds. If our enemy is skilled enough to summon zlghob, it stands to reason such tricks are not beyond them. Much older, you say? Perhaps Asian? Meaning young Prish here was likely tricked into believing the Shade was this Olmia's person. Wait, was she tempered? We don't have a flying pig nearby, do we? So it was all an illusion then. It's starting to come back to me. There was someone who warned me that a dear friend needed my protection. He was blue like your left head, and he gave me these bizarre weapons. Blue like me? I usually fight with my fists, but didn't think twice to accept what they gave me. I suppose their magic is to blame. In any case, I hope the real Ulmia hasn't been dragged into all this. Can you tell us anything about the one you thought was your Ulmia? Where they may be hiding, perhaps? Would that I could, but when I got here, I was all by my lonesome. Here being where exactly? Jeuno. At least, I think this is Jeuno. There was never anything like that here before. It's mostly empty, but there are a few people lingering about. If you know where to look, maybe they can tell us something. Go with Prish, and see what you can learn of this place and the whereabouts of that shade. We will remain here and keep watch on this rift. Right then, let's have a look around. Oh, and we should probably stop by the Tenshodo as well. It's in the back of Neptune's Spire, across the way from the fountain. Prish is now accompanying you. Oh good, I was hoping to run into you too. I don't wish to be overly forward, but why were you speaking with that Malmuja earlier? More importantly, what was it doing here? They would never dare venture beyond the shores of Ardija. Unless... My gods, has Gulujaja laid siege to At-Urgan? Is Jeuno next to fall? I don't know anything about sieges or invasions, but that Malmuja over there is a friend of mine. There ain't nothing for you to worry about. The poor man's probably more confused than we are about all this. Adventurers gather from all corners of the world to buy and sell their spoils here. The taxes are a pain, but it's worth it for a wide selection. Just between you and me, though, I've heard you can cut a good deal with merchants peddling their wares just outside the town. But why is it closed? The auction house never closes. Maybe they're waiting for things to return back to normal around here. Whenever they reopen, I suggest you stop by. Who knows, you may get lucky and find something way below market price. Alright. You're new to Jeuno, aren't you? I can tell by the way you were talking in the sights. You were taking in the sights. The city was built upon Heaven's Bridge, connecting the two great continents of Kuan and Mindartia. You'll find there's an upper and lower level, a port, and an administrative plaza of Vrulud Gardens. At least, you would have before. All ways in and out of Lower Jeuno appear to be blocked or cut off. The situation here is worse than I thought. I guess we have to head inside these doors here. You press against the door, but it refuses to budge. Won't open? And I guess we won't be meeting Aldo. He's head of the Tenshodo. When the world's in danger, he's always there to lend me a hand. Reminds me of my friends, the Scions. Scions, eh? They sound like a competent lot. Unfortunately, we're on our own here. Neptune's Spire. Applicants invite our branch. please, we'll issue membership. Yeah, it seems like the townsfolk are basically there, but they're not themselves right now. What? Why is this blocked off? There are supposed to be stairs here leading up to the residential area. I swear, things get stranger here by the minute. Can't say I've seen your sort around here before. Where are you from, stranger? Golda, can't say I've heard of it. Most folks passing through hail from Sandoria, Bastok, or Windhurst. Considering the present state of Jeuno, though, seems strange is becoming a common occurrence. I'd be lying if I said I'd heard of your homeland either, but that's not important right now. At times like this, we need to know who can be trusted. Whatever happening here, these people are just as bewildered as we are. We should go back and find Frqwdplqdwlrq, see if he's noticed anything. Alrighty. I'm guessing as we progress the raid series, portions of the town are going to get restored. Returned at last, with answers, I hope. Not really. So we're truly in this Jeuno, as she says. But I've traveled all over Tyrol and never heard of a Jeuno or Sandoria or any of those other places. What in Altana's name is Tyrol? I thought all you Mamuja are from Ardaja. Krish, you're all right. And she has you to thank, I'm sure. Thanks for caring, I guess. And who are you exactly? He's the one who asked me to go and look for you. I appreciate the concern, but I've never seen him before in my life. How can you say such a thing? I mean, you do look like the sort I might know, but I'm drawing a blank. What was the name, mister? My name is... You must be the one they found wounded in the Sky Deep Cenote. Well, we have to call you something. How about Alaxel? Vagabond in the Mamulja tongue. Though it may be closer to adventurer in Prince's Eorzean. Nicely chosen, brother. That does have a rather nice ring to it. Alaxel is. So where are we, exactly? Jeuno, or at least a close approximation. Surely you remember this place, don't you? It does feel familiar. What's so special about this place anyway? And where did that damn shade get off to? Pah, none of this makes any sense. My, what a vexing predicament. Hey, that's the one who put me under a spell, I'm sure of it. So the Bunawa sycophant yet lives. What are you doing here? As you found me in a generous mood, I thought I might enlighten you as to the nature of this place. That is why you've come, isn't it? The young lady is correct. This is the Grand Duchy of Jeuno. So we really are in Jeuno, and yet something about it feels so off. I never said this is the real one. It is an imitation, a rather convincing one, I might add, which I created based on visions of another world. You built this. So, it's very similar in nature to Emmett Selks's recreation down in the Ocean of the First. That I did. While you and yours were holding the Dawn Servant's coronation, Zlghob and I ventured to the gate of the Golden City. Everything was proceeding as planned. The gate's key was in our possession, the power to reshape the world within our grasp, or so I thought. In the eyes of the resilient sun, I was but a useless tool to be cast aside. By all rights, I should have died when he struck me down, but once the chamber was empty, the gate still open, I saw my chance. What I found when I dragged myself across the threshold was an emptiness, a space beyond time. It was there, in this dark expanse, I beheld another world. That world was called Vana'diel. Now, to be clear, they're not going to make this the same Final Fantasy XI Vana'diel. Final Fantasy XIV is considered to be the effectively the theme park of Final Fantasies. So it's going to be somewhat different, and it's not going to be a direct connection necessarily with the true and real existing Final Fantasy XI world. What a load of rubbish. As if anyone would believe that everything and everyone here is little more than one of your toys. He turned to stone. As I said, everything you see here is of my creation. Much like we fashioned a phantom of Gululjaja for the feet of the Brotherhood, I was able to use our ceremonial tools to breathe life into my visions of Vana'diel. Under normal circumstances, my conjurings only have strength enough for a brief clash. With that stone, however, my magics are capable of so much more. Isn't that what Zlghob used to build his army? Electrope, he called it. Electrope, you say? Yeah, even what's her name was holding that sort of thing in the final battle of the Arcadian, at least of the first tier. Well, last battle of the first tier. There's 3 tiers. If you know its name, then I trust you also know these stones are possessed of immense power. Power enough for my creations to persist for as long as I please. Fortunate, then, that world between worlds was filled with structures made from electrope. More than I could ever hope for. Maybe there was a connection between 9 and 11 then, at least in terms of the perspective of this game. Wait, If everything we see here, everything we believed was from Vana'diel, is of your making, then am I? Gods, that would mean I am as well. You? Yes, well, a trivial thread in a tapestry of my grand designs. And what a wondrous weave it will be, made possible by the endless possibilities gleaned in that walk of echoes. The memories buried there, those remnants of echoes, will shape my dreams into reality. I once believed that dream lay in the resilient sun, but that bastard is dead to me. By my hand, Tyrol will have the greatest ruler the world has ever known. I've made an admirable start, but my work is far from finished. Very soon, I will draw upon the echoes once more to summon the greatest beings of Vana'diel, and their strength will be made one with this magnificent shade. The reason and resolve which built the nation of Tuliolol matched with the uncompromising tyranny that commanded the Momulja of that world. If you won't listen to reason, then maybe you'll listen to my fists. That's the spirit. My preparations will take time, of course, but when I am ready, you can be certain I will call upon you to bear witness to my greatness. Oh, I wasn't... Cyrilja, wait! And now that we know that he can teleport at will, the next time we see him, just throw a tomahawk at him and be done with it. That'll be the way to do it. All right. No comment. Prish? Damn it all. Just when I thought things couldn't become more complicated. Making sense of Alexandria was trouble enough, but now we have this Vana'diel to deal with as well. I can only imagine how Prish and Alaxel must be feeling. Wait a minute, no, is that Al-Shal? Those X's in this expansion keep getting me. Al-Shal, okay. Or Al-Shay? I don't know. At least I'm realizing these things before it's getting too late into things here. Anyway, what do you want to do with when your very existence is called into question? First he served that tyrant Zerolja, and now he would dare usurp the throne for this pale imitation of the Dawn Servant, sniveling wretch. Well, it really comes down to a question of... I guess, when is he going to reappear? And would it make sense to have the the Dawn's Guard in here at all times ready to capture him? Or, barring that, a contingent of all the other allied nations in Eorzea. The world was... that world was called Vana'diel. Try as I might, I can recall nothing of my past to refute Cyrilja's claims. Prish, on the other hand, seems to know everything of her past and who she is, yet to be told the memories of your life are not your own. I can only imagine how she must feel. Now's not the time to be disheartened. At least not here, anyway. I wouldn't trust anything made by Cirilja to be safe for long. Or to remain functional. Let's return to Mamuk, while we still can. My mother will want to know of what we've seen here. Alright, we are headed back to Mamuk. Now that we've returned, I can see now that this isn't the Mamuk that I know. I'm glad to see you and Bakuljaja returned safely, and you brought a new guest. There you are. I thought you should know. You should be the one to explain what happened out there in Yaktel. There is a connection to another world out there. Or rather, an imitation of another world. Not simply from another territory, but another world entirely. That explains much of this initial confusion between us. My apologies for any trouble I may have caused. And thank you for taking me in. Different worlds, and yet we seem to have so much in common. I cannot help but wonder what it is that links the two together. What indeed? You mistook us for the Mamulja of your Vanadil when we first met. May I ask what they are like? Nothing at all like you and yours, even if they do bear a striking resemblance. There was a time when all the peoples of Vanadil, the Mamulja included, knew peace. But a tyrant possessed of a terrible power claimed rulership over the Mamulja and turned them against us. Before we realized it, we were at war. A tale similar to ours, in a way. The rare few of us born with two heads grow to be immensely powerful. That power was used to justify our preeminence over all others. But that is not who we are anymore. We can be better than our forebears. We will be better. All of our hard work will be for nothing if Cirilja succeeds in seizing the throne. Well, you'll not want for aid in stopping him, I promise you that. Oh ho, keen to lend a hand, are you? I don't need to know who I am to know the right thing to do. My blade is yours. On my honor as an adventurer of Vanadil, we will put an end to Cirilja's schemes. If he were here, I'm sure he'd have done the same. Okay, random thought, but I am also aware of another figure from Final Fantasy XI, and it's partly because of other adventures we've had in Eorzea. Prish? And this is without me, like, I don't even know this character here. But Prish, by any chance, do you know Tenzin? Right then. We can worry about whether or not I'm real another day. I'm not going to stand around and let this Cirilja piss all over the memories of my home. So you can count on, you can count me in too. Don't think you can forget about us. This all started in Yaktel, and we have a duty to keep our force safe. Tsurilja has left us without a trail to follow, but it's only a matter of time before he reveals himself to challenge Prish once more. Or Prince once more. My goodness. If you're to be ready, I think it prudent that the two of you learn more of our world. An excellent idea, brother. We should start with Tuliolal and see to our own preparations while we're there. If you would meet us at the dirigible landing, we will see Prish and Alshal to Tuliolal. Okay, that is going to take us far to the north. No, actually, it's inside Tuliolal we're going to, so we'll take the teleport over to there instead. Alright, Aethernet. Right over here. Those balloon-powered airships are really something. I didn't expect the flight to be so smooth. So this is Tuliolal. Before I forget, I couldn't help but notice how much you seem to know about me. Is there anything else you remember? I'm afraid I don't. And as you don't recognize me either, perhaps we weren't acquaintances after all. What I know of you was likely overheard in a tavern somewhere, patrons sharing stories of your famed exploits. I see. Well, I'll leave it at that then. Now, where to begin? Brother, would it not be wise to first apprise the Landsguard of what's happened? Or would you prefer another stern lecture from the Vow of Reason? I'd sooner rip off our tail. Fine. Could you keep them occupied while we see to the Landsguard? Maybe take them to eat or something. Ah, I know. Take them to Atti's to sample her tacos. Here. For that first meal of yours we spoiled. And just so we're clear, we're not expecting to earn your forgiveness. No amount of good deeds will ever undo our past, but there's always time to build a better future. When you get there, tell her we sent you. She'll see that they're taken care of. I hoped she might remember me, but she doesn't even seem to know me. God, who am I? Aunt T's Tacos, eh? Let me guess, they serve tacos? Oh, I can hardly wait. I ate tacos all the time back home. Though I suppose it wouldn't hurt to take a more scenic route. Maybe something along the way will help jog Aljal's memory. And they are accompanying us. Alright, we got a couple of points over here to check out. Actually, is that one there? That might be. Let's pick up the pace. What in Altana's name is that? Do people actually ride those things? Chocobos are the only beasts I've ever seen used for riding in Vana'diel. If they have any, I'd sure like to see them. Those creatures remind me of the Chocobos in Vana'diel. I say we adventurers found them indispensable would be no exaggeration. To say we adventurers found them indispensable would be no exaggeration. From shore to shore, they were our faithful companions wheresoever the roads might lead us. Alright, and then we're headed this way. You know, they did mention that in 7.2 they're going to be adding a new jogging feature. It's supposed to be a little bit slower than Sprint, but it'll be nice for classes that don't have access to Peloton. My home is surrounded by ocean, too. You know, it has the most beautiful views on a clear day. Not without the occasional monster, though. It's nice to be able to walk around like this without your guard up all the time. I cannot say why, but I remembered something looking out at the sand dunes. There was a man out on the docks who claimed he could teach me new battle arts, but he would only agree on the condition that I retrieve for him a damselfly worm, an apron, and a magic skull. I don't suppose you've met anyone on your travels who's made such queer requests. I'm trying to think now, because that actually sounds like something that maybe one of the class reps did ask for, but nothing's coming to my mind right now. I know it wasn't Warrior that for that with Curious Gorge. That was more story elements in there than collecting a whole bunch of stuff. So these are the markets of Tuliyollal. There are so many stands, I wouldn't know where to begin. It's enough to make my head spin. Some fruit would sure hit the spot right about now. No, Prish, remember, you're about to eat tacos. I happened to spy a few goblins on the way to the market. I remember them living in the major cities of Vana'diel as well. Of course, there were no shortage of the unscrupulous sort living in the wilds as well. They would gather in droves and give chase to adventurers, forcing anyone and everyone to retreat back to the safety of town. Alright, let's get over to that taco stand. Here we are. This is the place, right? I can smell the savory meats already. And you must be Aunt T. Frqwdplqdwlrq recommended we sample your tacos, so we'll have 3 of your finest, please. Frqwdplqdwlrq sent you, did he? Take a seat. I'll be right over with a tray of our world-famous fare. Tacos at long last. Oh, how I've waited for this moment. I thought nothing could match the rich flavor of our tacos back home, but the spicy seasoning of this meat is something else. The meal's on Frqwdplqdwlrq, so don't hold back. Krish has taken the lead, but we won't be outdone, surely. Phew, I couldn't eat another bite. Thanks for treating us. It was Frqwdplqdwlrq. It was almost like a taste from home. Tavnazia. Seeing as we still have a little extra time to ourselves, care to hear more about Vana'diel? "20 years ago, the land was gripped by a terrible conflict. The Crystal War, they called it. And it wasn't long before my home, Tavnazia, was drawn into the struggle. During their assault on the peninsula, the Beastmen launched a weapon so powerful, it sundered the land connecting us to the mainland. Those who survived fled to the Tavnazian safehold. It wasn't much, but we were able to piece together a modest living down in those caves. Sorry, I'm spoiling the mood, aren't I? You're an adventurer too, aren't you? Have any tales of daring you can share with us? Well, again, I would ask, do you know somebody by the name of Tenzin? Traveling to other worlds and saving this one from the very embodiment of despair. Wait, really? You're not just an adventurer, you're a goddamn living legend. A hero and living legend. Sorry for the wait. There was much to apprise the Landsguard of, as you well know. That Cyrilja was behind the stolen relics, and the sightings of Gulujja was understandably difficult for them to hear. And yet there are others enticed by the rumors of a strange portal in the woods. I've heard some foolhardy treasure seekers have even gone off looking for it. Well, word spreads fast in this part of the world. A dangerous thought, knowing Cyrilja could show up at any time with more of those echoes. Which is why I'm going back to Jeuno, to make sure our people stay out of there. If you're going, then so are we. It beats sitting around waiting. Gods, those tacos were bloody brilliant. There's nothing better than good food and good company to pass the time. I'm fairly sure I've had Tavnazian tacos before. They were famous for their hardiness and helped stave off fatigue. Those who often found themselves on the defensive in battle would do well to eat one before a fight. As soon as Frqwdplqdwlrq gives the word, we'll be off. Would that we had time to show you more of Tuliolol, but we can't afford to have anyone wandering about in Jeuno. Then let us make haste to Yachtel. Alright, we are headed back to Yachtel. Let's head to Ikbrox. And head south from there. So far, this seems pretty interesting. Again, with my limited knowledge, I'm probably missing a whole bunch of the references here that they're trying to make to Final Fantasy XI. I can only speak for myself, but the idea of running headlong through a mysterious rift to God nowhere in search of treasure seems absurd. Tyrol has no shortage of legends like the City of Gold to inspire would-be treasure seekers. No risk is too great if they believe their dreams can be realized. Efforts better spent on a more honest living, I'd say. Walking the noble path like you, brother. In any case, whoever we find in there, we have to get them out quickly. I realize how preposterous it seems, but none of this is real. A Mamuja by the name of Sarilja created this place. And what if one of those weird shadow things decides to gobble you up? Okay, so they're just trying to warn people then. We don't mean to threaten you, but you need to leave at once. This place is more dangerous than it looks. Never seen a city like this in Tyrol before. Dangerous, you say? Perhaps I should hold off on surveying further then. What a shame. I happened upon a rather curious stone I hoped to take with me, but it was stolen by some Tonawatan brute. Without knowing the value of that stone, I can't say it's worth giving chase, but he ran off to the south if you mean to go after them. I'll be leaving now. If it's truly as dangerous as you say, I hope you'll be leaving soon as well. When I jumped through the rift, I was expecting a dungeon, or maybe a labyrinth, not whatever all this is. It's dangerous, and I need to leave? Don't make me laugh. Not long ago, I heard someone crowing in the streets about some rare stone they found. Something like that could be worth a fortune. I'm not going anywhere if there's riches just lying around for the taking. And there's that thief. You came looking for some fancy trinkets too? Well, feast your eyes on this. We spoke with anyone who would listen, though a few were too stubborn to heed our warnings. A block of raw electrope, but how? I take it you're the one that found this? I'm sorry, but we can't let you leave with that stone. It's too dangerous. You expect me to just hand it over? Bah, this isn't Tuliolo. You have no authority here. I found it, and I'm keeping it. This is for your own good. Put the stone down and walk away, or else... Be careful, brother. Lay a hand on him, and the vow of resolve will never let us hear the end of it. And what about a world-traveled adventurer who could very easily deal with the situation? We're already in her debt as it is. Fine, you've come here to make your fortune, yes? Then let me pay you for it. That would certainly save me the trouble of finding a suitable buyer, but don't expect me to let it go for cheap. We couldn't help but overhear you're selling an artifact found in the ruins. Whatever this gentleman's willing to pay, I can assure you I can pay more. Great, just what we needed. What do you suppose we do now? Explaining the circumstances surrounding this place would likely take more time than we can afford. Ah, of course. Why not hold an auction for the stone? An auction? That would certainly simplify matters. It would save you the trouble of bargaining with all interested parties separately, and incentivizes them to pay you handsomely, lest they be outbid. Fine by me, but I'll only be accepting payments in gil. This money will be taking me overseas, where I can finally live the life I've always wanted. Let's hold the auction already and get this over with. I'm guessing Al-Shal was inspired by the nearby auction house. Still, that was quick thinking. An auction should hopefully make things easier for Bakuljaja, assuming he can outbid his competition, of course. I'll offer up every last gil to my name if I have to. That stone will be mine. My work has been turning a tidy profit these days, so I've coin to spare. Technically, we're not in Tyrol right now, so for my part, and given the good name that I've developed over all this time, a yoink here or there should not tarnish my image that much. Sadly, I cannot do such a thing. The following event cannot be skipped. Alright. If I may have your opening bids. Can you handle the bidding? We don't have much experience with auctions, but we do have coin you can use. Around 1 million gil saved from our work with the Landsguard. Hopefully that will be enough. Upon speaking with the Tonawatan thief, the auction will begin. You may also first speak with the other prospective buyers to receive hints regarding their potential bids. Foreign merchants relieved me of my stock a few moons past, and it's a good thing they did. 1,500,000 gil, and I was forced to spend half of it in preparation for this expedition. I have no time for the back and forth of this bargaining nonsense. All I need is one bid to win that stone. While it's imperative that we recover the Electro, it wouldn't do to show your hand too early. Better to be conservative with your bids, staying just ahead of the competition. Damn, I wish I had money to join in. Seems like fun. We've 1,000,000 gil, all told, but I'm trusting you won't need to spend all of it. No, but we're gonna need at least a fairly decent opening hand here. So what is your offer? The auction has begun. Outbid your competitors for the Electrope while conserving your capital. Right then, how much will you start with? And we know one of them is pretty affected here by something that got stolen, so... But they still have half of that. So let's see how much of that half they're actually willing to part with. 500,000. A bold opening bid, but I'm willing to bet that's all you have. 560,000 gil. Half my savings gone. Surely they're close to conceding, right? $700,000. 700,000? How is anyone meant to compete with that? Damn it all. I'm not leaving without that stone. 720,000 gil. Well, that'll leave you with only 30,000 left. Raising their bid by such a narrow margin? Someone reached their limit. Now we should be able to just step this up step by step. 730,000. Finally, it's over. You have a knack for business dealings, Prince. Maybe you were a merchant in another life. This looks to be all of it. The stone is yours. Now I'm curious what would have happened if I had said 1 million from the start. That was more expensive than I would have liked, but nothing a few hunt bills can't make up for, I hope. As fun as that looked, I'm sure I would have made a mess of things if that were me. I tend to get a little carried away under pressure. Well done, friend. Now let's have a look at that Electrope. Yeah, this presence, it feels familiar. The Shadow Lord. There's no mistaking that deep and bitter malice. This stone must have served as the heart of the Shadow Lord's echo. He was a being of pure hatred, responsible for bringing about the Crystal War. I was part of the company that would eventually bring his reign of terror to an end. You helped defeat the Shadow Lord. Meaning Al-Shal must have been there with him, but I don't remember ever hearing about that. In any case, I will hold on to the Electro. We should hurry back and speak with the Landsguard. Excuse me, but were you speaking of the Shadow Lord just now? If there's more you wish to know, perhaps I can be of help. I've heard a great many tales of the fiend from the bards who frequent the taverns here in Jeuno. I've been waiting over yonder, near the fountain for my companions to arrive, but you're welcome to speak with me until they do. A most welcome offer, though there is much to be said for a first-hand encounter with the Echo in question. Perhaps we can revisit these tales another time, after we've made certain no more treasure hunters can readily gain entry. Let's return to Tuliyollal and speak with the Landsguard, Prince. Come and meet us at the Bright Plume Post. Alright. We can give them a quick talking to here. Ah, there you are. If you've any burning questions about this place, or anything else in Vana'diel, I should be happy to answer them. Tell me about yourself. Me? I'm no adventurer of any particular renown, if that's what you were expecting. Just a man come from Bastok looking to see more of the world. While I lack in fame, I make up for it with the strength of numbers. I have no shortage of friends willing to accompany me in pursuit of riches should I reach out via Link Pearl. The armor I wear is proof of our accomplishments, salvaged from the depths of the Alzadal undersea ruins. That said, I treasure my time with them more than any trinket or bauble we've unearthed on our travels together. You understand, surely. Okay. About Fafnir. The great dragon that slumbers in the depths of the Buyada tree? Yes, I know of it, as does anyone who would dare venture into Zita. Stories of a great hero who did battle with the dragon, their harrowing encounter concluding with a strike at its heart with the fabled blade Redil. If only they hadn't missed their mark. The blade is said to remain nestled in the beast's bosom even to this day. To survive such a blow and live for all these years bespeaks a strength I struggle to imagine. And yet the tales of its might have not deterred the brave and foolhardy from venturing into the tree. Hopeful they can slay Fafnir and claim its spoils. Few have reached Dragon's Eyrie and lived to tell of it. Okay, about the Archangels. I've heard stories of the 5 warriors clad in black. If the fates are kind, I will never have the poor fortune to cross paths with them. They were not born, but forged from crystal, assuming the legends are true. The Dawn Goddess, Altana, wept 5 tears that gave birth to the 5 races: Hume, Elvan, Tarutaru, Mithra, and Golka. The Archangels are said to be the embodiment of their sins. Apathy, arrogance, cowardice, envy, rage, the darkness that lurks within us all. No one is certain why they were created. The prevailing theory is they served as guardians of some ancient paradise. Okay, and the Shadow Lord. The great darkness of the Northlands, hatred made manifest. There's not a soul in all of Vana'diel who doesn't know of the Shadow Lord. His sole desire was to bring about the extinction of Altana's children. And so he rallied together the Beastmen, inciting what came to be known as the Crystal War. The Beastmen's assault was merciless, and it was not long before Bastok, Sandoria, and Winders were brought to their knees. It was only after Archduke Kamlanuk convinced them to join forces with the Grand Duchy of Jeuno that they gained the momentum needed to push back. United as the Alliance of Altana, they would eventually drive the Beastmen back from their lands, and soon found themselves going on the offensive in Frqwdplqdwlrq. The Alliance proved victorious in the end, but not without a great many sacrifices. Peace had been restored to Vana'diel, for a time at least. The Shadow Lord was somehow resurrected 20 years later, but thankfully he was slain before the Beastmen could be embodied to take arms a second time. There is much speculation as to his origins. Most believe he was once a Gulka, if you can believe it. He was betrayed by one of his companions, mortally wounded and left to die. A dear friend of his was also said to have been cut down in the altercation. He succumbed to his wounds, but his rage and despair would remain, giving life to the Shadow Lord. If what you say is true, and he has returned once more, perhaps the flames of his hatred can never truly be extinguished. Alright, you got anything else to say here? No, that's it. Okay, let's head back to Tuliyollal. I don't think we ever went here during the MSQ, so... It's interesting to finally be going here. Once again, we're left with nothing but time on our hands until Cirilja shows himself. I suppose there's no shortage of work to be done if we ask the Land Guard. You may be better served exploring Tural, familiarizing yourselves with the land. It wouldn't do to find yourselves lost when you're needed most. An honest-to-God's adventure. What a great idea. You're coming with me, Alshal, and don't you dare say you're not interested. Any self-respecting adventurer would jump at a chance like this. I'll not deny the suggestion piques my interest. We warn you now, though. The wilds of Tural are rife with danger. It is no place for the unprepared. I welcome the challenge! Ha ha ha! I can hardly count the number of times Vana'diel's been visited by some world-ending calamity. But no matter how dire things may have seemed, we always found a way through, together. This will be no different, I'm sure of it. There's nothing we can't do so long as we have each other. A band of adventurers, barely met, united in the face of great peril, just like old times. Are adventures always so sentimental? Is that so terrible a thing? Ah, here he is. The moment we learn anything about zlghob's movements, I've asked him to contact you. And with that, quest complete. Meanwhile, in the Echo of Tulia, yeah, soon we will slaughter them all. Is that not so, zlghob? Soon, my Dawn servant, very soon. Then there shall be none to stop you from taking your rightful place on the throne. How fortunate for me he lacks the wisdom of the true Dawn servant. But if he will be made fit to rule, I must choose from the echoes carefully. The Shadow Lord showed promise, but Vana'diel is a land of rich history. I needn't settle for those who are but a blink of an eye in the annals of history. With the strength of the ancients, I will bring Tural, no, the whole world, to its knees. Alright, so that's it for the first part of the raid series. Now, we did obtain this Ordell coin while we were in the raid, so before we do anything else, I believe what I need to do actually is head over to Solution 9. And we're going to head to the arcade. Put my tank back on. And miscellany. Yeah, here we go. So I need... Let's see, that's for accessories, that's for defenses. Here we go, for weapons. Because I need to upgrade my weapon, finally. First we're gonna take the materia off. Or at least try to, anyway. Alright, got one of them. Let's try the other. No dice on that one. Alright, so gear augmentation. Oh, I gotta unequip it. Alright, and this upgrades this from an item level 720 to a 730. Alright, let's go ahead and put some stuff back onto here. So, critical hit. Alright, and then this still has space for another 62, so I can do another crit materia. Perfect. Alrighty. So my gear is all set for my warrior now. With that, let's make our way over to Limsa Luminsa, because we have some quests to finish, particularly what we left off on previously regarding healers. It should be right over here. Prince, am I glad to see you. I've just received word from Wislam and Zurich. Our culprits have finally been spotted. It seems the thieves headed for Upper Lenosha. I offered to make my way there as soon as I could, but Wislam and Zurich said I should hang back for now. Once they've gathered enough information, they'll be heading back to Aleport. Let's go and see what news they have to share. Alright, we are headed to Aleport. No sign of Wislam and Zurich yet. I don't mean to assume the worst, but I admit I am a bit worried. I knew I should have insisted on going. I don't want them injured on my behalf. I say we head out and find them. Miss Loshkana, terribly sorry for the delay. Wislam, Zurich, thank goodness. How did you fare out there? You found Elrit and Konoha? Kokonoha? Yes? No, we found them all right, but it didn't take them long for them to find us. We were set upon by Kokonoha's mammoths. His mechanical menagerie greatly outnumbered us, and may very well have been our end. Death by mammoths isn't an ideal way to go, mind you, so a retreat was our only option. Cowardly though it may sound, we needed to ensure we could keep you aware of the culprit's whereabouts. Before they spotted us, they were stuffing their little metal army into a skiff bound for Camp Bronze Lake, and mark my words, they're plotting something new. Of course, it's entirely possible they seek a quiet route to eastern Lenosha and wish to bypass Bronze Lake instead, but a thorough search of the camp would be wise. Alas, the enemy you face is far beyond our capabilities, so this is as far as Wislam and I will be able to go. I'm sorry we couldn't provide more decisive information. Honestly, I should be the one apologizing. You've risked life and limb for me already. I never meant to push you past your limits. You needn't dwell on it. We're as eager to bring those criminals to justice as you. Indeed, we shall, at least, take pride in knowing we could point you in the right direction. But we should take our leave for now. Wislam and I ran most of the way here, and I think I speak for us both when I say we could use a comfortable chair and a hearty meal. None can gainsay your strength, my friends, but I beg you not to underestimate that of our foe. Go well, and may your determination guide you to victory. Camp Bronze Lake. The ferry skipper spoke of the place my first time here. We should hurry and seek passage before Elrid and Kokonowa elude us again. Alright, let's teleport over. What a lovely camp. Now, if I were a half-crazed alchemist with the heart sting and a new scheme up my sleeve, where would I hide? Is it just me, or are there pigs flying in the sky? It hurts to laugh. Oh dear, that doesn't bode well. To the upper levels, Prince, quickly! Poisoning the springs. You truly are the lowest of the low. You flatter me. 'Twas just a little poison, really. As a treat. I'm afraid I couldn't contaminate all the water here, but we're having oh so much fun with our shiny new hallucinatory toxin. This reminds me of something Kefka once did. Anyway. Step away from the springs, Prince, now. Protecting the healer, are we? How sickeningly sweet of you. But you ought to watch your step as well, my dear fairy apple, lest you find yourself seeing stars, or, Elric, is aught amiss? Kokono, you look absolutely hideous, or should I say adorable. Why, you're as bony as a porcelain doll. And she's been affected. What the hell are you on about? Oh, very interesting. Yes, very interesting indeed. I believe I may have poisoned myself. Now there's a predicament. And guess what? Do you recall those antidotes I prepared at the base? Because I forgot to bring them. You are your own worst enemy. Do you know that? I suggest we retreat before you decide to dive headfirst into the springs for fun. Unbound scum, do you think we'll allow you to walk free after all the chaos you've caused? Well, yes, actually. Have you seen Elrit? She's in no state to contend with you, and I've never been one for rough and tumble. Of course, you're welcome to give chase, provided you have no qualms about leaving these poor souls to laugh themselves senseless. Retreat though we must, I would call today a rousing success. But worry you not, my dearest bushel of busybodies. We've plenty more tricks in store for you, and the entire island. Phew. I don't sense any toxins in the waters anymore, so the spring should be safe again. Will the toxins affect the local wildlife? Seeing as Elrite suffered from a taste of her own medicine, I doubt she's mastered much of the Heartsting's power. As such, any poison she produces from it would be relatively weak. Most of her handiwork has already evaporated with the steam. One might compare it to the way those awful unbound smoke bombs dissipate, and thank goodness they do. In more capable hands, however, the Heartsting's poison remains active, unless dispelled with Asuna or another form of antidote. The same permanence applies to its cleansing abilities for our food. Now, there's much on my mind, but I think we've bigger problems to address first. Let's make our rounds of the camp, then talk about our next steps. I'm going to have a look around the springs to ensure the toxins are gone for good. Could I ask you to treat any victims you come across? You got it. Alright, so we are looking for victims. Now that Asuna is instant cast, I might as well take advantage. Much appreciated, sir. I wasn't anywhere near the water when it was poisoned, but the toxic stream must have drifted this way. Or toxic steam, rather. When I heard the rumblings about mysterious mammoths roaming around the camp recently, I was more than a little apprehensive. But I never expected those mammoth masters would do something so cruel. Your efforts are helping us put this turmoil behind us, and for that you have my thanks. But I can't simply let you administer this aid alone. I should tend to the remaining victims as well. Okay. Oh, thank the gods. I wasn't expecting to nearly laugh myself to death at a place meant for healing, but at least I can breathe easy again. I hear you're chasing after the ones who did this. You're either very brave or very reckless, but I'm inclined to assume the former. Any road, all that laughing has exhausted me, so I may as well take a break from my soak. Thank you again for your kindness, and may the Navigator keep you. Unfortunately, I need to get line of sight here, so... There we go. My costumed compatriots, they're gone. Farewell, my visions. May you revel on in my memory. They say laughter is the best medicine, though I feel far worse than before. Many thanks for putting an end to it. I think I've earned myself another soak, and an extra flagon of mulled wine. Pleasant travels to you, healer. Alright, let's head over here. How goes the healing, Prince? Wonderful. I'm glad Asuna proved effective. For my part, I've given the springs a thorough look. The toxins have dissipated completely, so the bathers should be safe from here on out. As for Elrit and Kokonowa's antics, I've had a moment to reflect on everything. Now that our work is done, do you have a moment to chat? I'm well versed in the numbing and blinding poisons we use on our hunts at home, but something kept troubling me about Elrit's toxin. I've never seen anything like it. I had no idea it even existed among the Scorpion's gifts. Elrit may be inexperienced, but the fact that she's learned to inflict hallucinations is cause for concern. Still, we should try to look on the bright side. She's yet to discover the heart sting's cleansing properties. Judging by the way she couldn't cure her own ailments, knowing her as we do, I reckon she only has toxic trickery on her mind. Kokonowa, however, handled himself surprisingly well, despite his exposure. Do you recall the man in Limsa Luminsa who ate the poisoned apple? He must have claimed that Kokonowa took a bite, yet never suffered its ill effects. He must have some manner of immunity, but how? This reminds me of the attempt on the Sultana's life. That's quite the tale. So the real poison was switched for a sedative with similar properties, and as a Dunesfolk, she regularly ingested small amounts of toxins to build a resistance against such things, which allowed her to awaken from her coma. I didn't expect Kokonowa might have had that sort of upbringing, but it would certainly explain why Elrit's tricks don't seem to affect him. Few in my village would ever think to consume potentially lethal food or drink without drawing on the heart sting's power, yet the Dunesfolk do it gladly. The more I consider our differing approaches to poison, the more fascinating it becomes. But I have a feeling the bathers won't want to overhear talk of poisons after what they've just been through. Why don't we continue our discussion in Limsa Luminsa? Alright, back to Limsa we go. Phew. I know I've been anxious to ascertain our thieves' whereabouts, but things escalated far quicker than I thought. Your presence throughout the whole ordeal was a welcome one, Prince. What was not so welcome were Elrit's parting words. Whatever she has planned for the whole island, it can't possibly be good. Her acts of mischief have only grown worse since I arrived in this city. We must take the heart sting back before she causes any lasting harm. Of course, it was Wislam and Zerig's efforts that led us to Elrit, so I'll have to thank them when I get the chance. In the meantime, I'll do what I can to track down our unruly thieves and report to you as soon as I'm able. Alright, on to the level 98 quest. Prince, I'm glad you're here. I'm on the cusp of a breakthrough in our search. or I'd like to think so. This won't come as a surprise, but Elrit and Kokonoha went back into hiding after the Bronze Lake incident. With all their grandstanding, I wasn't expecting them to lay low for so long, but I doubt they'll keep it that way. Fortunately, we have prior experience to guide us. Until now, our culprits have traveled all over Vildbrand, and they don't appear to be retracing their steps. I hear Costa del Sol attracts many visitors, so that seems a likely target. They say it's owned by an entrepreneur named Gigaruju. Perhaps we can ask if he spied anything out of the ordinary. Oh, that place has had several things happen to it, but at least for right now, we'll see. To the east. What picturesque scenery! I hadn't expected Costa del Sol to be so grand. From what I gather, Gigaruju should be just up ahead. I don't suppose you're already acquainted with him. For better or for worse, yes. That's not very encouraging, but as long as you're on good terms enough, I'm sure we'll be fine. In any case, let's be on our way. Well, if it isn't our favorite intrepid adventurer, what business brings you to my abode? Why, yes, I did spy that lovely specimen of a Hera. Alas, I was so entranced by her feminine wiles that I cannot recall any such entourage of a Lalafellan man or mammoths. Ah, that I never drank that wine she so gracefully gifted me. A single sip, and I saw oh so many stars. I thought them wonderful in those first blissful moments. I partook of the drink amongst my ratoon of kittens, yet as the rush of stars subsided, I found myself surrounded by a flock of unfamiliar faces instead. At first I presumed the wine caught up to me faster than I had anticipated, but time passed, and the unknown faces stubbornly remained. I dashed across the shore in terror. In the midst of the mayhem, I could hear her, the wine-wielding beauty, maniacally laughing in the distance with some other chap. I feared these cackles would be the last thing I ever heard. Which is precisely why I found it appropriate to slap the sense back into him. Judging by the way Master Gigaruju was darting around at the time, I suspected he'd been in his cups. Drank the whole bloody bottle too, so if you wish to investigate the wine itself, I'm afraid that won't be possible. Can you blame me? Questionability of her wine aside, that woman was immaculate, a sight for sore eyes. Any gentleman of taste would have fallen for her tricks. Though we may lack the drink in question, we've received reports of mammoths roaming Raincatcher Gully not long after the incident. If you intend to investigate this further, you'd certainly be doing us a favor. Any news of wayward mammoths is promising for us. We'll give the gully a look and relay to you whatever we find. Godspeed out there. Then our next destination is clear. But before we depart, Prince, might I have a word? It's kind of nice to see him finally get a little bit of comeuppance for once. Based on Gigaruju's account, it's safe to say Elrit's discovered a new poison. While similar to the hallucinatory toxin she used at Bronze Lake, it strikes terror into the hearts of its victims instead. I have a bad feeling about this. She's gaining proficiency with the heart sting at an alarming rate, so we must tread carefully when we cross paths with her. As for the mammoths, Kokonoha doesn't seem the type to send them wandering around aimlessly. That's why I think they're bound to have some clues on them. If we can track those mammoths down in Raincatcher Gully, we might be able to discern what those two are planning next. Alrighty, so Raincatcher Gully it is. That's going to take us over the hill here. Kind of close to the dungeon over there. Brave Flocks. Where'd you go? Here we go. Alright, we got some mammoths here. I should go ahead and bring out Hadrid here. Alright, we are heading northeast next. Phew. I think we've cleared out the mammoths. How fared your hunt? River Survey Notes, a comprehensive report detailing Vilbrand's every waterway. So they've been keeping a record of the island's rivers. Oddly enough, the mammoths I came across were patrolling the river as well. Now that they've tested their poisons on Bronze Lake Springs, do they mean to take to the rivers next? Now that's sounding more and more like a Kefka thing. When they poisoned Cian's homeland. That's not good. Cure 1. And Asuna, just to be safe. My, that dart was laced with a potent numbing poison. But nothing bruises our favorite fairy, Apple, it seems. You never cease to amaze and annoy me in equal measure. She's like to have the same manner of immunity as I. Her village was positively brimming with poisonous flora and fauna, after all. I have a request for you, my dears. Would you please give up on your little trinket, pretty please? I wish only to revel in the fruits of my devilry, yet you continue to spoil my every attempt. And trust me, I despise our conflict as much as you do. Indeed, do you think we enjoy watching our finest mammoths suffer at your hands? Enough. If you truly wanted to end this, you'd hand over the heart sting. The scorpion's gifts weren't meant for a petulant, childish criminal like you. Fine then. No more Miss Nice Ellery. But answer me this, who have my antics killed, Who? No one, I remind you. So why must you refuse me? Why must the world refuse me? Our blighted society has never looked fondly upon my love of mischief. For years I despaired, until my unbound family and its leader granted me the greatest gifts of all, love and understanding. So long as I remain unbound, I care not what the wretched masses think. I shall play my tricks as my heart desires, and all who stand in defiance will know my wrath. That includes you, my dears. My next game will finally plunge this island into chaos I so desperately crave. Into the chaos I so desperately crave, and I will stop at nothing to see it realized. Oh, if only I could be a blue mage right now and use Hydro Pool. Sorry to worry you, Prince. I'm feeling much better now. I'm ashamed I didn't sense that mammoth's presence quickly enough. I'm glad you came out of the ambush unscathed. That aside, I wish they didn't use such putrid smoke to make their exits. I don't know if my nose or stomach can take any more of those awful bombs. With Ellerit and Kokonoa gone, I doubt we'll be able to find much else here. Let's return to Costa del Sol and inform them of the latest. To Costa del Sol we go. Shall we report to Gigaruju? Back already? How fortuitous. Or ominous. Or both, even. I take it you found those wayward mammoths? They're planning to do something with the rivers. Surveying Vilbrand's waterways, are they? After the recent poisonings at Camp Bronze Lake, we have reason to believe the culprits are planning to make Vilbrand's rivers their next target. So the culprits are one and the same then. I had my suspicions since I caught wind of the incident at Warmwine Springs. Regardless, this bodes ill. We may not know which of these rivers they'll strike until it's too late. Is there one river that serves as a source for all the other rivers here? Well, I shall not stand for any more preposterous poisonings. 'Twould be prudent to inform the Maelstrom of these potential horrors. The one who poisoned you, her name is Ellerit. She stole something precious from my village, and I must recover it, no matter the cost. If you learn anything of her whereabouts or her plans in the coming days, anything at all, I'd like to hear of it as well. Hell's bent on finding her, eh? A brave one, you are. Oh ho ho! I couldn't possibly deprive a lovely lady of the information she requires. Worry not, for my servants shall sally forth in your general direction the moment they hear of Ellerit's newest misdeeds. Oh, thank you. That'd be much appreciated. It's going to be an uphill battle, but we can't afford to let Ellerit and Kokonoa elude us any further. Come, Prince, it's back to Limsa with us. Alright, back to Limsa we go. And hopefully this will be the last quest coming up. Thank you as always for your support, Prince. Gigaruju was interesting, to say the least, but I'm glad we obtained the information we needed. I don't know why I allowed Ellery to say her piece. I should have swallowed my pain and taken up my spear. We could have apprehended her right then and there, and yet... there's no more room for mistakes. The longer Ellery lurks in the shadows, the greater the threat becomes. Countless lives are at risk. The next time we find her, we end her tricks once and for all. For now, I'll remain here and await news from Costa del Sol. And we get a mesquite juice from this. Hello there, Prince. I've been on the lookout for anyone from Costa del Sol, but nothing yet. Perhaps we should travel over there ourselves, just in case. Master Prince, Mistress Yoshikana. Forgive me the sudden entrance, but I bring a message from Master Gigaruju. Your quarry has been sighted in eastern Lenosha. Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't leave early. Thank you for bringing word. Where in eastern Lenosha were they last seen? Master Whiskate, but recently received a report from Mistress Brayflox, a trusted associate of his. We're told a number of inbreakers with fighty tools and tinkerdolls infiltrated her long stop. We have little doubt the inbreakers and tinkerdolls she speaks of are Ellery and her troop. Now that's funny, I mentioned the dungeon and, well, they go inside. I see. Then we'd best find this Brayflox, and soon. Indeed, you're like to find her by the entrance to her long stop in Raincatcher Gully. My master and his associates wish you good hunting. We should get a first-hand account from Brayflox as well. Perhaps she'll have more to tell. Let's be off, Prince. Alright, that's going to take us over to Wineport. And then to the south. And west. So this is Brayflox. I told her she reminded me of a moblin, but I got a bit of a scolding for that. Not mobbies, she said, gobbies. Yes, gobbies. And gobbies require hand-lending to backstrike at inbreakers. Inbreakers bring big flock of tinkerdolls to search for water gush. Water gush? Does Ellery mean to poison the island's water source? Wasn't I just talking about that? This must be why they were researching the rivers. If the toxins are strong enough, anyone, or anything that draws near the water would grow terribly ill. All Vilbrand would fall into disarray. Poison makes no good for Gobbyflock, no good for Vilbrand. Narrow hearts in need of many punishings. This goes far beyond trickery. We must end Ellery's ambitions here and now. I doubt she'll come quietly, and she has the heart sting at her disposal. But with your aid, Prince, I know we can take it back. As soon as you're ready, we'll storm the long stop. And with that, duty calls. So, I'm gonna go ahead and have this. Get some extra determination and crit. Well, this is it. Ready to storm the long stop, Prince? Indeed I am. There they are. I knew bringing those bits and bobs for battle was a good idea. If you're after some manner of surrender with heartfelt embraces and handing over the magic heirlooms, you've come to the wrong long stop, my dear. You monster. You plan to poison every waterway in Vilbrand, don't you? But of course, the trick is to let the poison stew for a few bells. With a healthy helping of those tantalizing toxins and a dollop of advanced alchemical processes, poof, this eyesore of an island will get a taste of my finest work yet. My latest masterpiece neither dissipates nor evaporates, and no amount of inherent immunity can save you from its influence. It may be safe to touch, but one tiny sip will have you begging for mercy. That's no jest, by the way. I won't begin to describe what manner of havoc the experimental doses wreaked on me, but I will look forward to seeing how it affects the general populace. Oh yes, the residents of Limsa and its adorable little hamlets rely on this water, so very many people blissfully unaware of what's to come. And every single one of those wretches will be at the mercy of our malice. Every single one! If she unleashes those toxins into the waterways, this is going to end up far worse than Bronze Lake. The only wretches I see here are you two. Your precious scorpion once hunted prey with these poisons, yes? Perhaps I should learn from its example and revel in the thrill of the chase. I suspect that's my cue to back away. I'd rather watch the chaos unfold from a safe distance. These venomous gifts keep on giving. My very ether is infused with their essence. So now, my dears, it's time I hunt you for a change. Alright, so it's just the two of us here. They say they're gonna lead the charge. I'm gonna set you as my focus target. Let's go! A little poison never killed any... Oh wait, I lied. Ah, well. Yep, let's get Asuna out. Such terrible power. Okay, so we're gonna have to go to a specific spot, I think, here. Here we go. Yeah, I find it's easiest to deal with that mechanic if I kind of pulse a little bit early and then eventually start running in the right direction, rather than trying to get it and then, you know, just completely miss in the end. Alright, let's get some healing going, and then Asuna, and then Asuna for myself as well. The Reet is apparently starting to come under the effects. I grow weary of your tenacity. Mammoths to your positions. Nothing we can't handle. Let's turn them into scrap metal. And they are apparently trying to self-destruct. Oh, for the love of... Pull yourself together, Ellery. So much for trying to AoE them down. Let's figure out which one's the real one. It's gonna be the glowing one, apparently. Apparently they're going after that guy. Okay, we go over here. And move into where it's safe. Get Asuna out. There we go. That's a tank buster coming in. Enjoy the blood lily. Go ahead and put the bell down at this point. Just about have them down. Something tells me we gotta take out this cloud. I'm not target. When did my targeting go off? Okay. Alright, Blood Lily. And then we go Asuna. And Asuna. No, 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 my tonics! They betrayed me! Turn the heart staying now! Alright, duty complete! Enough, Ellery. We must escape while we can. A smoke bomb, quickly! Fine, have it your way. Wait, that's a goblin maid! Gobby boom? No, no, no! You will rule the day you've made enemies of the Unbound! And they're blasting off again. She's left quite the mess behind her. Nothing the heart sting can't detoxify, though. Let's hurry and clear away the poison. There you are, Prince. We came running once we heard the explosion, but I'm pleased to see you're none the worse for wear. Ellery and Kokonowa picked up the wrong explosive. We should consider ourselves fortunate that goblin bombs resemble unbound smoke bombs. Gobby booms and friendly faces win the day. Inbreakers go flying skyward. We made our rounds of the long stop as well. The enemy mammoths patrolling the place have all gone lifeless. Your treasure is safe, I trust? Yes, thanks to Prince's support. Very good. Should those troublemakers survive the impending fall, they won't pose the same threat without it. If they do happen to show their sorry faces round here again, I've notified the Yellow Jackets to be on the lookout for them. They send their regards and their deepest gratitude, of course. The heart sting is safe again. Thank you for everything, Prince. And thank you too, Brayflox. We might not have found Ellery and Kokonowa without you. Brayflock's Happy Gives hand lending. Important for all good gobbies to offer hand lending to fellow gobby friends. It's an honor to be counted among your gobby friends. Now, as eager as I am to get the heart sting safely back to Tyrol, I'd like to say my goodbyes to everyone here first, if that's all right. Wislam and Zarig deserve to know how everything transpired in the end, for one thing. Shall we make our way to Aleport? To Aleport we go, then. Well met, you two. How fares the hunt for Ellery? Sent them flying, did you? Now those are what I call good tidings. To think they'd confuse a goblin explosive for their own smoke bombs. Ha! Serves them right, I say. With Miss Loshkana's heirloom return, we can breathe a collective sigh of relief. I, for one, am pleased there will be no more risk of poisoned elixirs. I wouldn't have wished those hiccups on my worst enemy. By the by, Miss Loshkana, I knew you traveled far to get here, but I didn't realize you hailed from Tyrol. That's quite a voyage. Will you be heading home soon? Yes, that's right. Volbrand is a fascinating place, but my village is probably worried sick about me. And the heart sting too, of course. Though your time here was short, you'll be sorely missed. We still have much to learn, but one day, perhaps, we might find our way to Tyrol as well. Oh, that would be wonderful. And when you do, I'll look forward to hearing all about your adventures. And you! We had a feeling you were no ordinary adventurer. Imagine our surprise when we learned you were the savior of the realm himself. One of our Yellow Jacket acquaintances boasted about meeting the Warrior of Light while investigating the cereal poisonings, and that's when it dawned on us. She sends her regards, by the way. We've moms to go before we reach your lofty heights, but God's willing, we'll try to rise to the challenge. Indeed, you've given me much to aspire to as a fellow healer, and I shall do my utmost to follow your shining example. Be well, you two, and may we meet again on distant shores. Thank you both for your help. I'll never forget it. It's time I returned to Tuliolal. It would mean the world to me if you'd come too, Prince. I wouldn't want to report our success to Nipine without you. Alright, back to Tyrol. Specifically Tuliolal we go. Back to that eatery where this all began. Loshkana, and Prince as well. Your combined presence here can only mean one thing. Prince and I have brought the heart sting home. So you have. I regret that I could not assist you, but I am relieved that all is well. Words cannot express my gratitude to you both. Taking back the heart sting was no easy task, but I learned a great deal on my journey to Eorzea. One of the Unbound, a man called Kokonoa, possessed an inherent immunity to poison, built up by years of regularly ingesting small amounts. Rather than relying solely on the Scorpion's gifts to detoxify us, perhaps we might learn from those traditions and build up a stronger immunity of our own. It would be prudent to prepare ourselves in case something like this ever happens again. If we continue living among the deadly, perhaps it's time we found new ways to overcome the challenges we face. Throughout my life in the village, I thought I knew everything there was to know about the Heart Sting. But I now understand that the Scorpion's gifts can easily become a curse in the wrong hands. Its power can poison a single water source, threaten countless lives on a whim. Yet at the same time, its detoxifying powers can save just as many. I began to wonder, could the Heart Sting provide succor outside our village? Should it? Or will the risk prove too great? Excellent questions all. Knowing what the Heart Sting is capable of outside our borders, we must consider this carefully, for the future of our people. I am certain your father will wish to speak more of it upon our return. As you can see, our community has much to consider if we're to keep thriving. But for the moment, I'm simply glad the Heart Sting is back in Tyrol, and I can't thank you enough for your help. Until I met you, I'd never hunted alongside a healer, but knowing I had your support filled me with courage. Yours is a heartening presence, one I'm going to miss dearly. You have my gratitude and my trust, Prince, now and forever. But as much as I'd like to, I won't keep you any longer. Nightpine and I have a long trek home. I wish you all the best and hope... No, I know we'll meet again someday. Alright, and we get ourselves a bunch of materia for our effort here. A Heart Sting's a heavy burden. Alright, so we still have 3 more role quests to do, but we are going to be saving those for another day. In particular, I'm going to want to tackle the tanking one next. But for now, we have one last thing to do here today, and that is to head back to Shaloni and finish up what we started earlier. Let us speak to Nita Wikwe and hand over the last one that we need to make a delivery on. Whoops, I need to be the right class. Alright. There's the last one. Perfect. I reckon that's the last of the materials we'll need to finish remodeling the passenger cars. We've been making slow, steady progress so far, whenever we can find time between rides. After all, more comfortable interiors will bring in even more passengers eager to ride. And with more passengers, our dream of rail expansion won't be far off. Sorry to bother you. Here to ride the rails, I take it? How can we help? Well, I need to visit a relative in Yasalani, but the train will only take me as far as Vanguard, right? I'd rather not wander around blindly inside that massive fortress, Could you tell me how to get through? Can you handle this, Prince? I dare say, you know Vanguard better than any of us. Ah, I see. I think I've got it. Probably. I'll figure it out. Thank you so much. I'd rather send the poor soul with a guide, just to be safe. Do you reckon there are any dome dwellers planning to take the next northbound train? For my own peace of mind, I think I'll ask around. Wait here, alright? Alright, vsuhdglqj now considers us a customer caretaker. And yet there's so much work to be done if the shock troll railing is to continue operating smoothly. To that end, vsuhdglqj has a new favor to ask of you. I'm back. Luckily, I managed to flag down a friendly Alexandrian to escort him. Now that I think of it, I suspect that man's not the only rider with apprehensions about the fortress. But we can't count on passing dome dwellers to do the job every time. We need a more reliable option. You clearly care for your ridership a great deal. Why not extend the rail inside and out? Our passengers are paramount. If you ask me, they're the only reason we have a business at all. That's it, I've got it. The next project will have to wait. This takes priority. Based on your descriptions of Vanguard's floor plan, we could print guidebooks and pass them out on every northbound service. Hard to get lost with a map in hand, right? I still say you should expand the railing inside the Vanguard and then outside it again and connect up with the rail that's out there. I'll see if I can get my paws on a printing press. Bring me the paper and ink, and you'll be rewarded with a publisher's credit on each copy. How's that sound? Leave it to me. Although, we will have to take care of this another time, given that we have already maxed out the number of deliveries that we can make this week. Which is exactly what this cutscene is for, and I believe we've already seen this. So we've delivered the weekly maximum, like I said, so this resets every single week, so we will proceed on the next step of this next time. Alright, so we took a look at Jeuno today, we finished the healer role quest, and we took care of that next step in this, in the custom deliveries for vsuhdglqj. Of course, we got patch 7.2 coming up in a couple of weeks, and I do plan to cover the MSQ on that. As well as hopefully also take care of the tank role quest at that time. There's also so much else that we still need to cover at this point. There's, of course, that final quest for helping out in Tyrol with all the crafting groups. There's also that thing I said that I wanted to get to today. Unfortunately, with the storm coming in just a little while, I am going to have to pass on that for today. But we will get to that eventually. With all that said, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for joining me today. This is PrinceBrightstar signing off. I'll catch you next time.